Pen that matches your shirt. Coordinated.
Well, not on purpose, Mary, but thank you for noticing.
Incidentally, it's very coordinated.
Very much so. Very much so. We will call the meeting to order. If you would stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would you call the roll, please?
Dr. Bennett? Yes. Mrs. Gadsden?
Yes.
Mrs. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
I would entertain a motion for approval for the minutes of the March 16th special meeting and regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman. Are there any questions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll?
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Gadsden?
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, no accommodations and communications tonight, so we'll move right on to reports and public participation. And Bill, do you want to introduce Mrs. Keaton?
I'll introduce
Thank
Chris
you.
Keaton. Many of you know Chris. She has taken on a unique role over the past 2 years now, really trying to help us with our college, career, workforce, and military readiness. And I thought it would really be neat for her to share with you some of the work that's been going on and who she works closely with. And so I know there's a little presentation, but Chris is never short of great things to say, so we'll get it over to you.
Give me a warning. Like to talk. So on the first slide there, I just sort of purposely singled out this acronym that is used so often, the CCWMR measure, which obviously you know is a part of our grade card now. Being in education for over 30 years, I think philosophically this is just an incredible initiative from the state. Basically what it says is that everybody who walks across the stage has equal value and a measure. So on the back of the sheet, I have prepared for you. There is just sort of a chart of those 11 measures, and just so for everybody to know, every student has the ability to earn one measure, and you can't get extra credit. So if you hit multiple measures, it doesn't matter. We have 285 that are graduating. We should get 285 points from them, singularly. So I guess this is sort of the framework, and I guess I want to tell you a little bit of a story of how this sort of worked initially. When I started having, every student is required to have a graduation plan, and that graduation plan starts with, which is really important to understand the outline on the front. Are they on track for graduation? What are those 3 graduation requirements? 20 credits, 2 seals, competency. So as you set that in place, that's 2 graduation. And so then I started to move into this motto of through graduation to look for those measures. So this came in line with trying to figure out what your E is. What is your E is a movement that is way beyond Mount Vernon City Schools. And those 4 areas are employment, enlistment, enrollment, and entrepreneurship. And I alphabetized those so that it would not have any kind of bearing or weight, right? There was nothing purposeful in that placement. Because I think we all agree that we've been in the business of enrollment for a long time, getting kids college ready. And so it was immediately put on my radar as I was having one-on-one graduation plan meetings that we were far negligent in the employment component and workforce, right? That part of the measure. The students would be sitting across my table and saying, I want to get into the Career Center, and they are seniors or juniors. And so as we started to explore what some of those opportunities look like, I made a call to KTC, and I guess I want to make sure that everybody knows what KTC is and how it is associated with KCCC. So Knox Career Center is the institution that we typically know, but that is the high school side. There's an adult side. And so within that career tech education, in the back of my mind, as I was looking at some students who had their 20 credits ready, they had their 2 seals and they were ready to early graduate with no plan, I'm like, well, that's not good. So I was like, there's gotta be an equivalent out there to CCP. We get everybody else started on the college track when paying for that. Where is that on the career technical side of things? So I called Amy Thompson at Knox Technical Center. She's the financial director, and she's like, oh, there is this OTC Plus money. We don't know exactly what it looks like. It's brand new, and that's what started all of this, was that conversation. I also reached out to Beth Marhefka at the Career Center. She is the workforce advisor over there. And I said, how do we get pre-apprenticeships? She started this conversation with me, and so those are going to be really important to what we see in the next few slides. Okay, so with the employment, you are looking at one of the programs that we have started to partner with over the last couple of years. Enlistment. These initiatives, all 4 of these initiatives, are driving conversations at the high school, plans at the high school. How do we improve our enlistment process? What do we do? Who are we partnering with? Employment, enrollment, and entrepreneurship. And so if you want to look at the handout, you can see that I've blocked out each one of those areas, and I've sort of outlined what we're doing on the right as far as pertaining to those E's. I will tell you that entrepreneurship is our weakest link at this point, but that is something where the conversations are starting to happen and driven by discipline. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. All right. So I'm going to focus on the employment piece, and this also ties into careers, right? So this is CCWMR, this is career and sometimes workforce. These are the 2 measures that we're trying to get here. So within our partnership, OTC Pathways through KTC Partnership, we started with public safety. So this was the first time, this year was the first run of that. These students will, and if you flip your paper over, you will notice that they earned at least a 12-point credential on that line. If you complete all 4 of these, you will actually get 3 12-point credentials. So they are credentials. Industry recognized credentials are by a third party, it's state governed, and you walk out with those credentials by the state, you can immediately go into employment. Okay, so the first one was public safety that ran the entire year. Many of our students have graduated on Fire 1, which you have to be able to graduate to move on to Fire 2. Okay, we also are offering EMT Basic as a singleton. There's a lot of people on the medical pathway. I can talk of 2 students that I know over the last 7 years, got their basic EMT, and while on the pathway in college to get their medical license and degree, worked as an EMT Basic. So that there's a lot of different pathways with that. Another partnership that we have, brand new this year, is phlebotomy. You will see these students, and they are legitimately, and by the way, they have an open lab if anybody wants in the afternoon to go, and I survived it, both arms. You can see that. They really need people to practice on. So, they were fantastic. I really, no bruising, nothing. So they will walk out with the credential, obviously the 12-point credential in phlebotomy, and can immediately be employed. Next, certified nursing assistant. You are probably familiar with STNA, State Teachers Nursing Assistant. This name has changed, and there is a really long name that is called NATSEP. That is the program that they go into to be certified as a CNA. This one's a little unique because we have a lot of evening classes, a couple daytime, so if students have the flexibility with their daytime schedule, we can work them in there. But some of them are partnering with phlebotomy and CNA, or because we're going to start, I don't have any pictures, but we are starting medical assistant next year. And so some of them want to partner medical assistant, CNA, and double up. What's going to be really interesting about the medical assistant program, they will have all of the phlebotomy instruction. They can on their own go and take that state license, so they can walk out with both MA and phlebotomy licensure. I think it is really important, I'm going to back up for a second. It is really important to understand that these are one-year senior-only programs. This is one of the things that we found that the students in our building, they've been in the gap. Like they wanted technical trades, or they wanted this kind of credentialing program. They did not get into the lab of choice, or didn't know to get which lab. So these are the students that we have found in our building that are not going to do the 4-year college track, but would want to walk out with credentials. So that is what we are doing 100% to not compete with the Career Center and the Career Center programs. This is to take care of the students that are in our building that have not been exploring those pathways.
Chris, can you tell us the state testing for that? I know there's cost associated with that. Are the kids responsible for that testing cost, or does part of that grant money pick up those costs?
So and Judy might want to be able to talk to this a little bit, because I don't know. I know that there's billing that happens beyond my scheme of things.
Okay.
And a part of when KTC gives us the program, it includes that state testing in there, and all of the grants and all of the things through this OTC plus money. And it also comes through CTE funding, and then this is where I'm really stupid. I let other people do the numbers.
I know, I know, and like in the tuition, generally speaking, it includes that state testing.
And it is.
But I didn't know if there was a little loop that we would have to jump through to get that.
So only if they don't pass it. So then if they don't pass it, then that cost goes to them. And we do have a person that's in those pictures that it was like round 3 on the CNA state testing, but we have an incredible staff member at the high school that saw her through all of that, and she's passed and has done phenomenal. So, yes, so the first test is, and then it goes to the student. And it is also important, I guess, as we're talking financially, to note that like CCP, that there's a contract that if you don't pass the course, that cost then goes to the family, and that's the same thing here with OTC. Which that is quite a large bill for like public safety. So KTC is amazing on how to work and prorate that. So any questions about the OTC ones? I will tell you that as we start seeing this gap, KTC has been an incredible partner. So we are starting to see that we also have in our building students who want to go into the laborers union. And so Kokosing actually approached me about something that they had heard of. And so we sat last Friday afternoon, early evening, working with Learn, the big national organization. The guy was from Connecticut, 2 people from Kokosing, a local person from the training center right down the road, and all of KTC staff. And we were just talking about, can you make this curriculum a one-year program? So the conversation is constantly going on and evolving about what we can offer to our seniors. And a lot of these seniors are coming directly out of Team 12. So this concerted effort of 3 teachers that are working together to find immediately their pathways and plugging them in. Anything else on OTC Plus?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do they have to have pretty much all of their other courses covered by the time they're available to do this? Or can they still have some courses they're still taking?
Yeah, so typically all of them still have English and math, and that Team 12 is something that Darcy Nesbitt and I started about 3 years ago. We come together, nobody usually teams together English and math, but we were just like word smart and number smart for life, and this is how we sort of coordinated it. It is now with Nate Hunt, who's employability and CDI, so that's also sometimes another credit that they are getting. And then all of these programs have their 2 credits, 1 credit, 3 credit courses as well.
Maybe just to explain that, and I'll let Chris do it. Team 12 is a concept they've had for a while. They're kind of those students who are seniors who are kind of in this gap where they're not quite sure what they're going to do, and so they cluster them together to provide the English and math, but to allow them the ability to do, you know, some either work in the afternoon or this type of stuff.
And the readiness, so interviewing skills, resumes, all of those things.
But they have completed their other required courses?
Yes. So typically, there are a few that still maybe need financial literacy or something else, but, and this was the other beautiful thing about KTC, as they were looking at our bell schedule and they knew how many hours and the requirements that went into all of the programs, they tweaked it to, we can have our students in our buildings periods 1 through 4. And then they walk across the parking lot and they go from 11 to 2:30. So one of those programs, the MA, because of that time crunch a little bit, to get all of that coursework in, they will start 1 week before school starts. And as of right now, we probably have about 10 students who are interested in the MA program. This is not an MVHS only initiative. This is also going to all of the other Knox County schools. In our public safety, we had East Knox, and in the phlebotomy, we also had East Knox. So I know there's been conversations with Fredericktown, so this is, we sort of blazed the trail, but other Knox County students will take a part as well. Yep, that's OTC Plus. And then other things that we have done recently, this was pictures from last week. You can tell that it's in this building. We have partnered with Area Development Foundation and MEP out of Columbus State. This program has been going on for probably about 7 years, but we just came into it pretty much with my role. And it's fantastic. So we have 7 students from Mount Vernon City Schools. One's an early grad from the DA. It is a 5-week program, one day a week for 5 weeks. So they tour all of the manufacturers. There are 13 manufacturers in Knox County. Last week we spent time at FT Precision, Dival Bliss, and Schaefer Driveline. The week before that, Replex. We're going to go to HCP, all of these places. And then the students are actually being instructed. And you can, I'm going to go back to this picture real fast. So you can see this is Mr. Schnormeyer from Ariel, who is teaching students how to read blueprints. Okay, so there's all of these partnerships. We've had Beehive come in, and then these students will have 13 interviews on the last day with all of these companies. And as they are touring, the companies are saying what their positions are that they have available, what their hourly wage is, which they're not putting out there. These kids get to know that. And we're doing everything we can. Sean McCutcheon, Beth Marhefka, Julia Suggs, and Brent Maurer from Columbus State are working together with these. There's about 26 students, 27 students, KLC, all of the county schools, to go through that program. So that's Aspect.
And can you tell us what MEP stands for? Maybe I should know, but I don't.
Manufacturing something partnership. So there is an initiative at Columbus State where there is a whole division of MEP. And I don't really understand it enough, except for that Brent works particularly with seniors in high schools. He's been in Morrow County to do this program, and then Knox. I can find that out and let you know.
So it's not mechanical engineering?
No. It's all in manufacturing. It is a manufacturing state initiative. That's where the money is coming. This, fresh off the presses today. So last year we started with the faith of Mr. Cedar and Mrs. Kassler and a lot of help from Dr. Dill on how to get this pre-apprenticeship. So you were looking at the graduates from 2025. We had no idea what we were doing, but we started on this pre-apprenticeship electrical. When it came up to DC theory, I was quizzing my husband. I had no idea. All of the things. They got through 49 lessons. We didn't even have a timeline. I was just like hoping that they'd get it done. They did. And then within June, right after graduation, they were hired on as apprentices at Newark Electrical. But this really should have 7 people because they brought 2 other graduates along with them. So Hayden Higgins and Maddox Baker are also employed with them as well. But the pictures that flank, this actually came from the foreman about 3 weeks ago. And he made a call and he said Mount Vernon students are killing it. And I did not take any credit for that because I was like, I was not organized by any means. But these 2 gentlemen are working in Licking County. So Newark Electrical Apprenticeship is hiring 50 to 80 apprentices a month. Checked into Mansfield's IBEW 688, they are laying off apprentices. So we are in right next to where all of this is flourishing. And in fact, so this is so cool. Cohort 2026, this was all taken today. So the 4 have their certificates of completion. The picture in the bottom right-hand corner is sitting in my office applying to the Newark Electrical Apprenticeship Program. And when I submitted their certificates, I got an email back immediately, and it said if they fill out these 3 parts by 3 p.m. today, they will go in the May 1st round. So it is very possible that they could be employed by the time they're walking across the stage, or signed on as an apprentice. So the pictures on the either end, this is the VR component. It is not required for the certificates that they are holding, but it gives them real life experience. There are 4 modules. So single pole switch wiring. But the coolest thing is that they're helping and teaching one another. So Damian Edwards, whose head's at the bottom, and he's up in the top right, he has been the trailblazer, and he helps every other student as they encounter problems. And last I checked today, we have 10 of next year's class who are interested in
The VR stuff is really kind of cool there.
Yeah.
I often wondered if they touched the wrong wire, if you'd be like,
Yeah.
I heard Cole say, I can't pick this up. And then Davey's like, move to the left. So, which is really cool because I am the cheerleader on the side. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. The last thing, this is brand new this year. We were the last high school in Knox County to host a healthcare expo. You can see that KTC, Knox Community Hospital, Eastern Star, Michelle Engelbach was here, Carmen Yarman from Knox Community Hospital. We had 4 major stations that every junior went through. And the whole purpose is healthcare is not just what you think it is. Nurses, doctors. It gives them the whole breadth of support roles, technical roles, computer roles, all of these things that are in the healthcare. And we had every junior. And I know I'm running really over on time, but if you can see back on this paper, all of this stuff is good if you have it in a systematic approach. So you can see sort of the timeline in order to support all of these initiatives. This is sort of what we have to do to get kids ready to make decisions. You know, are you on the right pathway making the right decisions? So with freshmen, I go into all of the freshman English classes. I walk them through their transcript. I tell them exactly what seals they need. They also look at it in juxtaposition with a senior's transcript so they can see what they're reaching for. So I just really turn it into an information teaching lesson all period with doing this. Okay, so then what are you doing in order to make sure that you're getting to graduation? That's freshmen. But sophomores, we got to hit the ground running. So I don't even have the pictures up here for Career Quest and what we do. But again, working with 2 of the English 10 teachers, they were really behind all of this. We started exposing students to careers. They were in Navians doing career exploration. We have to get them ready to visit the Career Center in November. What labs are you going to and for what purpose? And so all of our students go. So we turned it into an English lesson, surprise, where they would have to researching their labs. And even if you were going to, you're going to go and be a vet, what labs are you going over there and why are you visiting them with that career goal in mind? So really thinking about that process to choose. They also get to attend the Career Quest, which is here, every 10th grader attends, which is a fantastic event that Brandy Booth leads from Ohio Means Jobs. And then by the time that they're juniors and seniors making these decisions, they have done the legwork and they can move from to graduation through. That was way over 15 minutes.
No, you're fine.
Any questions?
Any questions for Chris?
So exciting.
Thank you.
So happy to see this.
I know this was a year we kind of maybe took a little bit of time off from seeing some building stuff, but I really thought the work that Chris and her cohorts are doing was worth bringing to your attention. I know some of you are on the Career Center boards. You hear more of this stuff more often. We don't often hear about this here, and the fact that there's so many new things and incredibly neat things that we're doing. And it was a CCWMR that really kind of pushed us hard, I think, to do this. And then, of course, you got to have the right people. And we were blessed to get Chris to really, to get her out of English was hard enough. I had to beg. But I think you can see the passion she has in these kids and their success. So.
Well, and the cool thing about the CCWMR, it pushes as far as like we are held accountable, but for the right philosophy, that every student and their pathway matters, every single one. And I just happen to be a starfish kind of girl, so if you know the analogy. So that makes it really cool to be able to identify where are our gaps in order to make that. And then it's really careful record keeping that it appears on the measure. So.
And how are the parents involved? Do you have meetings with parents ever to bring them along?
Yeah, I actually a lot. Sometimes they're in my office or on Zoom. A student or a lot of questions that ask. There has not been, and I would like to move it where there's a concerted effort to expose them. We have CCP nights and those kinds of things. I think we wanted to get a year and a half under our belt, to make sure, because it was all very new with KTC and this OTC stuff. We still had questions, but I think we're ready to do that. So it went in the paper, Knox Weekly News. I don't know if you saw that. Damien was on the front of that. So we're trying to get this out. So yeah.
Real quick, do you cover interview skills and dress and
Yes. So actually, when we talk about this Team 12 group of students, it's about 40 students. That is, we partner with Ohio Means Jobs. They come in with mock interviews. They do resumes. I help and do interviews with students. And actually, Jackie Will just came to me the other day, and she said, "Okay, now how are we going to get this into the other seniors?" And so it's on a sticky note on my desk on how we're going to initiate and get that done.
Good.
So there was something, soft skills. If you can look at the bottom of the sheet, there has been a concerted effort. So the Ohio Means Job Readiness Seal is one of those seals. It's a state level seal that students can get, but it's also rock solid. It is 14 competencies that all of us should have as employees. And so we have been tackling those as soft skills, oral and written communication, professionalism, work ethic, and that has been a whole building initiative.
Great.
So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
that was something that we kept hearing time and time again from employers. You've got to teach the soft skills, and trying to come up with curriculum was a challenge. Chris developed the soft skills curriculum for Mount Vernon City Schools, and it has been a building-wide initiative at the high school.
Yeah, and we have some bugs to work out because the only thing, we only have Hive, and we know with anything, you have to have accountability. How do you work that in? From, implementing it to also collecting it. So we're going to still keep working on that. But at least we've started, and the kids know that conversation, and the teachers know what that conversation is too. So, okay, I'm definitely way over.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. I gotta go mow.
Moving on to our monthly reports, I do not see Cooper or April or Mr. Lang, but we do have two signed up for public participation. And Miss Eileen, would you like to go first?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I've been at one of these, but lots of familiar faces still. That's always nice. We're coming to you tonight with something that's a little bit new in the district with the contract changes that we had with negotiations last year. And that is a change that happened with the snow days. And so I'm kind of in new territory here along with everybody else. If you'd like have a copy of the contract, I know you know it, but. So the change in the contract started with everything that you see is as it has been in the past. The very last piece is what was added in the last negotiations this time last year. It says, beginning on the 9th calamity day, the days shall be made up, excuse me, at the end of the school year or adjusted through board action. What that kind of leaves me questioning is, I wasn't sure how to get board action or how to even talk to you about it. I haven't been here for a while because I've stepped back and I'm getting close to that retirement spot. And I'm like, young people need to step up and start having a voice in the contract that's going to be their career. So we have that in place. A little bit of background knowledge on all of this is 2014, Ohio went to hours for requirements for schools, different hours levels for elementary versus middle and high school. Shortly before that, Mount Vernon actually extended the hours that we had in the school, and I was trying to remember, I feel like it was right around the time you came, maybe before or after. The middle school was having trouble with the way their periods were working, needed a little extra time. We never have enough time to get everything in. I think we expanded the school year, or school day by like 10 minutes or so, but I asked April, she couldn't remember exactly either. The long and the short of that is that the teacher's working contract and the student day in the way Mount Vernon City Schools does everything is by days, but the state is looking at everything in hours. So if you look at the requirement of hours for the state of Ohio, and I'll just use elementary, I wasn't exactly sure how many hours a day the middle school and high school kids had. The state requires 910 hours. Mount Vernon actually has the kids in school 1,032. So we are definitely, really solid on the time that we get in. And that puts us at about, looking at a school day of academic time, about 5.25 hours a day for the elementary students. That puts us at about 23 days over, the requirement for the state. Now, we often talk about, as a union person, I often said to my staff members when they would complain that buses came late and they had to stay or a meeting ran over. I always said, we are salaried employees. If many of you have been in schools, know all about it. Teachers, we had Fun Festival last Friday. We had spring program last week, the winter program, and teachers happily go to all of those things. And if you're an elementary teacher, you are in school 2 weeks before the doors open because you have a lot of stuff to get ready. And teachers do that because we love it. I'm putting in a little caveat here. Wigan Street's Battle of the Books team won its 3rd year in a row. I coached that with our library aide. You guys should come to the competition. It's really amazing, even if Wigan Street doesn't win again. But it's really fun to see those kids so excited about books. That's just another thing. That's 2 hours a week I give, just because it's probably one of my favorite things. I love the literature connection that our current curriculum doesn't have. So we're in there, teachers are in it, we do it, and I just feel like, kind of going down to making up that extra day. Yes, I know technically by contract, that's our number of days. I just feel like a little grace in that to not make up that 9th day. I was doing some research on schools in the area, and I don't know how my 3 minutes are going. Some have made it up. If you're looking at most of the stuff that I could find as you move into other areas outside Knox County even, is that, many schools just didn't comment. They said we have more than enough hours and minutes to, meet our requirements for the year, and so we are not considering making up snow days. Now, some did, I'll give you that. The last part of the question that I'd like you guys to consider is the fact that it's getting pretty late in the year already, and teachers have been notified that we're going to be making up that day, but the community has not yet, and so that could be concerning for people who are starting to plan things. And I, for one, already had plane tickets to Denver for my youngest grandchild, youngest of 8, her first birthday. So luckily, knowing the contract a little bit better than most people, I saved a personal day, so I could put in for that. But I do know other people, long have had plane tickets and, things that were happening. So I don't know exactly how this all works. I'm bringing it to you because it is in the contract that board can't take action on that day. And from here, I don't know how it goes, but I will leave it in your hands because I didn't want to say, I had heard, well, the board, and the truth is you guys hadn't had it brought to you yet to even have a conversation about it. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, something that you could think about moving forward. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Andrea?
Hi. You know me, I'm here to write parents of 2 high schoolers. I would also say that if you add a day, it will no academic value whatsoever. You can make it a fun day, but there won't be any academic value to it, I'm sure. Yeah, so I'm here to address a safety issue that's already underway. I want to start off by being very clear. I am not opposed to this activity at all. I understand why students do it. It builds connection, it's fun, it's a tradition here at the high school. And I'm currently driving a vehicle that has a loaded water gun in the back seat with floaties in the back seat. My goal is not to stop it, it's to make sure that it's as safe as possible for everyone involved. So yes, many members of the senior class are currently participating in what they call SASN, or senior tag. This is student organized, it's very well run, and as you probably know, students form teams and attempt to eliminate one another using water guns. While there are boundaries, as you know, school property is off limits, as are workplaces and the interior of homes and garages. The rest of the community becomes the setting. What that means is that in practice, students are staking out neighborhoods, waiting outside homes, following one another in cars, and approaching each other unexpectedly in public spaces, all while carrying objects that to them are clearly water guns. But to others, this might not be obvious at all. Community members see unfamiliar young people, unusual behavior, and what appears to be a weapon, and they call it in. And we have seen that everyday objects, a wallet, a phone, a toy, have been mistaken for weapons. Amadou Diallo's wallet, Stephon Clark's phone, Tamir Rice's toy, and as I learned last Monday night, Councilwoman Amber Keener's son's water gun, all led to responses based on perception, not intent or reality. There are real consequences to these misinterpretations, and that is where my concern lies. I did last week raise this issue at both City Council and County Commissioners meetings. And at that time, neither body was aware that this activity was underway, although everyone had chuckles about their memories of this event. But the officers that were, and the deputies present at these meetings, they also did not know it was underway, although one of the police officers said that they usually got an email about it, but then he checked his email, and he said something about it being a day, and I was like, oh, no, this is not one day. This is an entire 6 weeks. I'm aware that the district has communicated to parents that this activity is not school-sponsored and is not permitted on school property. I appreciate that clarity. But that communication addresses liability. It does not address community safety. This activity is not confined to school grounds. It's across neighborhoods, across the county, and public spaces where neither residents nor responding officers have the context for what they're seeing. And I want to be clear, this cannot rest on students or student leadership to make that communication. Student leadership changes from year to year, and informal communication is not a reliable or consistent safety mechanism. When an activity, whether it's sanctioned or not, is widely known, it involves a large portion of the student body and has predictable impact beyond school property, there is a role for the district to ensure that appropriate communication reaches community safety partners. And I believe that this is one of those situations. Because once a call is made about a suspicious person, especially one who appears to be carrying a weapon, people are reacting to what they believe they are seeing, often with limited information. Providing the context ahead of time, our students are playing assassin for the next 2 months. It can make a meaningful difference in how those situations are interpreted and handled. So my request is this, that the district not rely solely on student communication, but take an active role in ensuring that local law enforcement and dispatch are aware that this activity is occurring and that it is expected to continue for several weeks. And more broadly, that the district recognize that when student activities, sanctioned or not, have foreseeable community impact, communications should extend beyond a disclaimer to coordination with those community partners, particularly because you have an officer paid full-time to be in the high school and middle school. This is about reducing the risk of a preventable misunderstanding, not ending a student tradition. So making sure the right people have the right information at the right time could make all the difference.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know a whole lot about the senior tag. I've heard the name before. Are there rules?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Oh, it's very highly organized and structured.
How do kids get the rules? Parallel universe.
Kathy, do you want to allude, you were involved with the high school when senior tech started, is that correct or no?
It kind of came after me.
Okay.
Ours was right done to the building.
Okay,
Was
Yeah.
my
okay, all
venue.
right, yeah. I do know there's a very lengthy list of rules and regulations that you can and cannot do. And it's pretty in-depth for the kids. They form a team of 5 students?
3 to 5.
3 to 5, okay.
They're head-to-head. Each team is head-to-head for
Yeah.
a week. And I believe they start elimination next week, but currently the scoring is based on how many got out on each team that week. And school is off limits, practices are off limits, work is off limits, your home is off limits as long as you are inside the home. If you are
Inside.
outside the home,
You're fair game.
you're fair
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
5 minutes before and after school, 5 minutes before and after work, 5 minutes before and after
It is.
practice.
Yeah, oh, it's
So
intense.
there's very, like, the stakeouts are planned.
Yes, yeah,
It's
yes.
highly organized.
People, I mean, kids surround people's homes to try and get kids as they come outside or they play in
They
the
figure out
yards.
what kind of
It's-
car the kid
they
drives,
say-
what's the secondary vehicle, so that if the
Oh, yeah.
kid is not, if they're in a tertiary vehicle, they might be
It's
hiding. It's
Do they have requirements on the water guns?
Oh, of
What
course.
they look like
They're
and all that?
not supposed to
No.
look like a weapon, but.
Yeah.
There
could be
there's
dark.
several memes and little reels out about the whole water gun and, as Andrea said, not using realistic water guns.
Okay.
Using more of the Nerf or the real, what we would consider little water guns, small, but no, they have the whole pump ones and
So if you
The
get,
larger
if you
big-
get wet, you're out?
you're out.
And so it's, you're trying to eliminate a team.
Correct.
You have
Yes.
now you have to video proof that you got the person wet. You must submit.
One's a videographer.
They have to serve as their own videographer, apparently. You must submit the video within 30 minutes or it doesn't count. Each team also did a financial buy-in, and then the winners obviously get some of the.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
Correct.
Question.
It's intense.
Yeah.
What is the time limit in the evening for this to conclude?
There is none.
I'm sure there isn't any.
I don't believe there is any.
So don't we have, but we have a citywide
Curfew?
curfew.
We do?
I thought we did.
I don't know that it's I don't
thought
think
we used to.
That was during COVID.
Yeah, I don't think
That
we
was
do
just during
anymore.
COVID. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, I thought we
No,
still
it's
had.
intense. I had a couple kids go through it. It's pretty intense.
You were doing it when your kids were?
Oh, yes.
So this isn't like a new thing?
It's not new. It's been going on for several years.
But the officer I spoke with thought it was a one-day thing and was
Oh,
on
yeah,
a
no.
specific piece of property or park.
No,
And I'm like,
it's
oh, no,
weeks.
this
Yeah.
is,
It's weeks.
yeah.
And as Andrea said, it's team to team, and then a team's eliminated, and you're paired with another team the next week. So you're team to team for 7 days, and then one team out of those two is eliminated, and it just keeps paring
How many
down.
teams would they have?
Oh, my goodness. Whew, it can be massive.
Unclear. When it's, the deadline for turning in your money was a week ago last Friday, but half the teams had not turned their money in, so the senior class president was hounding those teams to get their money turned in so that they could actually.
So they have to pay to participate.
Yes.
And then whoever wins
Gets the.
gets the pot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should have had our senior class.
I learned about this
president here
last night.
before.
They
Oh,
do it
did
in
you?
Connecticut too.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's everywhere.
Is it everywhere?
It's
You
everywhere.
win
There are-
$1,300.
Juniors that act as referees,
Yes.
so that there's no senior making any decision about
Yeah.
winning, losing, whether or not
Right,
the video counts,
yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah, it's done all over. And like I said, I saw something even on the news, watching out for kids with water guns. If you get wet, don't be alarmed. It's just kids out doing their senior. Yeah, so it's all over. It's not just in Mount Vernon or Knox County. It's all over. Yeah, as you said,
I know it's in
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Connecticut, it's, yeah.
So
It's
even
the
though
new thing.
we don't want to really be involved, I think you're asking us to communicate
Yes,
that this is going on.
yes, correct. And it come from the school, like every year, because if you rely on the senior class president to communicate
Yeah,
to
that makes
city
sense.
council and.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a good point, Andrea. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they doing this in Cardington, Flynn? No?
Okay.
Not that drastic.
We could put together a board team.
No, we could.
That would be hilarious.
Each other.
Think about that.
I had to shoo a parent away that got involved in it.
And if they're
It was,
wearing a
this is
floaty,
for the
like
kids.
an inflatable thing, they're safe. So
Oh,
anytime
we
I,
didn't have that.
yeah, or you have to wear floaties on each arms and legs, but if you have like something
That's why
around.
they were all wearing them.
That's
Fun
why-
festival. I'm like,
that's why
what
they
is-
were
what are
wearing
these
them at the
kids all
Fun
wearing
Festival?
floaties
Yeah.
festival for?
That's what that was about.
Gotcha,
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
I'm glad the fun festival was a safe place.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is senior tag. All right, moving right along after that fun discussion. No board items for discussion this evening, so we'll move right along to additions and deletions.
Well, unfortunately, we've had to make some additions to the agenda, and I only say unfortunately because it means we're losing some. So we do have a retirement, Karen Donadio, but I'll be talking about you with her later because she might be looking to potentially come back, and we'll have that conversation. Resignations, we got over the weekend, Taylor and Amy. And they certainly will be missed, and then of course we have some supplemental contracts we wanted to add in there. So those additions for your consideration there as we move through the agenda. Move on.
Yes, go ahead,
So I do have some
Superintendent's
district update. I usually share something that's going on in the district, and you know, there was a few things I just really wanted to highlight for you. I know I'm able to kind of keep you updated on our weekly bulletins, but some really cool things are happening. Here a week ago, we had our senior citizens luncheon, and it was a really, again, another really neat time. We do this in the spring and the fall, and it was a little bit earlier this year than it was in previous years. And so we had just shy of 200 seniors this time. We have an art show, kind of an exhibition here. We put up a lot of artwork. We had two really neat things that we share. We usually try to provide some entertainment outside of the corny gifts I like to share. We had our choir who performed, and they performed their 3 pieces they'll be doing at state competition. This is 2 years in a row they've made it to the state competition. This was really cool. So we kind of had, we had a special time in the spring where we had some showcases of some of our elementary buildings. And I got a chance to get around to all 6 in a real fly-by-the-way, kind of like 10 minutes, off and running. And they were doing this, I've seen them do it at other places too, but they were doing a wax museum showcase. And when I walked into East Elementary that night, they had little platforms. And when you would walk up to them, they would stand up in their platform and they're dressed in their outfits and they would share with you a biography of who and what they are, right? And so I thought, I've got to share that with our seniors. And so East agreed to bring in 3 different groups, 25 kiddos, who did that very thing for our seniors. And you can see they're dressed up. This is Karen Wright. This is, who's the Muppet guy again?
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson. I mean, just a whole litany of interesting folks. Jack Nicholas right here. And they kind of themed it to folks in Knox County. So there was a group that did that, and in the state and then nationally. And some of these kids got up and they just had it memorized. I mean, they just, I do have a video. I think I shared the video with you. Maybe I didn't. And if I didn't, I'll get it to you. I don't know if I could link it quite the same, but it was just really, really cute. So I thought I'd share that with you. Had an opportunity last week to go to something that has really just evolved into something really neat. Several years ago, we were invited to be part of what's called the Global Scholars Diploma. And we sent a really small group. We went to Honda. We went to a couple different places. Our group has grown to be now the largest group in this consortium. I shared this in your board update. And so all of these kiddos right here, first of all, they were there on time and early, right? They took front row seats. These were all of our folks who were involved in this Global Scholar. For 3 years, they committed themselves to going through the necessary work to get to this point. Back here, we brought all our 1st and 2nd year students. So this has grown to a point, we have almost 100 kids who are involved. And what they do is they collaborate and they work together with schools all around Central Ohio. And they look at global issues and they try to come up with strategies and ideas and how they can address global issues. I've been going for the last couple of years, and this group up front, their final showcase is they have to be ready to present what their project was. I just took a picture of a few of them here. These are some global scholars in action. So you can see, they end up making these little trifolds, and all of these people will come up and they'll go through their presentation. And they'll do it, maybe 20, 30 times before they're done. But I took some pictures of I tried to actually take pictures of all of them, but I've included a few for you. Around the World in 3rd grade, Nutrition and Athletes, Livestock. Oh, you know who that fella is there. It just is so cool that we have that many kids involved. And when I looked at the program and I saw we got more than Upper Arlington, more than Gahanna, more than, it's really neat. It's really neat. I don't know if you have anything that you would share that was your experience a good one?
It was great. A lot of the students, talked us through their posters and answered questions. One of the observations I made is that a lot of our students did something about education. Like they did programs to educate some elementary schoolers or middle schoolers, and I think that speaks to their connections with their elementary teachers.
I think so too. And Clay Toft kind of leads us, and there's a couple others that also help, but I think it's a testament to what they're doing and getting kids involved, and it was really kind of cool. And if you didn't get a chance this weekend, maybe one of my favorite shows that I've seen in a long time, musicals. We've, Trevor Garabrandt and Noel and that whole group have really brought back kind of musicals. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I probably could have went back twice. It was that good. It just was that good. And, you start looking at Snoopy and Sally and Lucy and Charlie and Linus. I mean, And they were and they did a digital backdrop in the theater. And I mean, they just were amazing. It was just really, really cool. So I thought I would share that. And then last but not least, just again, trying to make sure that we're just getting information out, right? So obviously May 5th, there's an opportunity coming forward, and our goal is just to share as much information as we can. We've done that through our website. We've done that in a lot of different ways. I know there's a levy committee that has done their kind of thing, but we really have the ability just to share information. And if you looked at our website, it really is pretty impressive, all the information. Our Facebook posts that we've been putting out, again, all factual, not necessarily to promote anything one way or another, although it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know where my allegiances might lie. I just have to be careful in how I say it. We also, on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday and the following Wednesday, I'll be here in this room just sharing factual information for anybody that might want to come. But the levy FNQs, the frequently asked questions, you can find so much information there. And so I thought I would just share that those resources are there for anybody who wants them.
Bill, what did you say? What days and times are you going to be here?
Wednesday, April 22nd, and then Wednesday, April 29th from 5 to 6:30.
Okay, thank you.
And it really is important for all of us to be really, really informed. So when we answer questions, because we get them, that we're providing accurate information. Because sometimes the most challenging thing is if it's not completely accurate in what we're sharing, because then it confuses folks, and we want to make sure we're as transparent as possible. All right. Well, now we're going to cruise through the rest of this. I appreciate your time. We have a number of items for board approval tonight. This is our second reading of some board policy updates. Again, you've had a chance to see those for the past 2 months. Really nothing of real significant interest here, pretty much boilerplate, but those for your approval tonight.
I will entertain a motion for the board policy updates as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Thank you, Dr. Bennett. And were there any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Rolladai?
Yes.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes, motion carried. All right, moving right along to curriculum instruction, staff development. No updates at this time?
I had her link the March update, but I'm not going to take time to go through it. It's very
Okay.
simple. There are 3 articles, short articles, and then a research brief. So you can look at it at your leisure, but I won't take time tonight.
And there are no items in this section for board approval tonight?
Okay, moving right along then to our fiscal services and Judy.
Okay. I'll make mine short as well. You want to scroll down there for me, Bill? Always good. As you can see, this shows what our balances are. This is our cash reconciliation, and we have a little smaller maybe so we can see the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
There you go. So that's our cash balance. It's the size of it now is because we just got our tax settlement for the first half. So those funds are in. We're still waiting on the rollback from the state. That should be coming in any time now. As you can see, we have 3 more months to go in the fiscal year. Amazing. I can't believe it's gone that fast. So you can see that we didn't collect the whole amount that we expected to for property tax. Not exactly sure. There may have been some delinquencies or something like that, but we got the 96%, which is about what we usually are. If you want to scroll down to the salaries, a little bit high on the salaries at 77, but we do have supplementals that just got paid, so that'll probably even out, and we should be at 75% expenditures for the year, and in all the categories we're at 74, so a little bit lower in some of them than others, but I think we're going to end up the year right where we think we are with our cash balance. This is the investment fund. You can see that We are at $727,000 for this fiscal year. The allocation by fund is down at the bottom. You can see how much is going into each fund from the interest that's invested with meter. And we have 3 accounts, 3 funds that we have to make changes to the appropriations. They're all local funds. The principals fund, that's money that comes in usually through fundraisers or other kinds of donations to the buildings. When I make the appropriations in the fall, we kind of estimate based on the prior year. And so we actually got more money. So we had to raise the appropriations for the 018. The 019 is a local grant. So if a teacher or principal gets a grant from a local company or an organization, we had to raise that a little bit to cover what we have in there now. And then the 300s, those are the staff-led student activities. That includes things like our athletic department is at 300. Anything that's led by the students, or the staff-led, excuse me, any of those accounts. So we need to improve those. And then we have the following donations. This is a memorial book for Darcy Miller's father, Pilgrim's Progress, and that'll go to the high school. She's the elementary secretary. Also for Darcy, husband, Pilgrim's Progress children's version for Columbia Elementary. And then we have donations to Pleasant Street from the Gay Street United Methodist Church, $2,753.25 for PBIS and the jacket closet items. Also Pleasant Street from New Life Church, school supplies, hats, gloves, and pants. To Twin Oak from the New Life Church, school supplies, gloves, hats, and socks and pants. To the Mount Vernon Boys Golf from Rocky and Margie Miller, Trent and Susan Miller, Jeff and Rochelle Shackle, $300 in memory of Todd Miller. From Wigan Street to Wigan Street and East from Linda Weston, $100 in memory of Carol Sue Owens and Eric Brown. That'll be split between those 2 buildings. Also to Wigan Street from Betty Dice and Jody Jarvis, $100 in memory of Carol Sue Owens. And to Mount Vernon Boys Golf from Glenna Peeler, $100 also in memory of Todd Miller. So lots of nice donations coming in from the community.
Some good people.
And that's all we have for fiscal services.
I would entertain a motion for approval for the fiscal items presented.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Workman. And Mrs. Wright. Are there any additional questions or comments?
Just thank you for all of that, all that work.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mr. Golodai?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Gasko?
Yes. Motion carried. All right, moving on to business services and Mr. Golodai.
I just put the link there for your perusal. I'm not going to give a verbal report.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, and moving on to recommended items for approval. We have 2.
We have 2 tonight. One's a facility request. They're doing some neighborhood revitalization around the Pleasant Street school area. So they've asked to use Pleasant Street as a congregate to share some of those revitalization efforts. And then, we met to move over to the OSB treasure search, and we needed to make sure we had a contract in place. So we wanted to make sure those 2 items.
I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Any questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Golodai?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
I'll have to abstain.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Moving on to student services.
No items for information tonight, just 2 items for board approval. The first is physical therapy agreement with the Living Rehab for the school year, for next school year. And then in a similar fashion, occupational therapy agreement, same company, same group for next school year, just getting ahead of that for your approval tonight.
entertain a motion for the student service items as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regola Dye. Thank you, Dr. Bennett. Any additional questions? And 2 agreements? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Goloday?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett? Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Motion carried. All right, moving on to personnel certificated licensed staff.
No items for information tonight. Number of items for board approval for the 25-26 school year. A couple retirements that I did mention. Karen Donadio and then Mary Lou Jacqueline is also retiring. Resignations. We have a number there who will be retiring that we'll have to replace. 5 in all. And so that's work we've got to get going on pretty quickly until we get the right kind of replacements there. A couple substitute teachers, supplemental contracts, and then for next school year, we do have some continuing contracts for 2 teachers. We did hire a guidance counselor at the middle school with the retirement of Chris Tier, and so hired a young fella there. And we have a number of internal transfers that we'll be working on. And you'll notice one is April Thompson. So April is transferring to a project Lead the Way. And so it's going to be kind of an extension of what you're seeing at the high school level, but we're trying to go down and introduce more career pathways for our middle school students. So they, kind of have some preparation as they move up. So we're excited about that. Then a year-long sub, and then E and F, where E is supplemental contracts. F are professional committees. So again, I know it's April. Sometimes we do these in May and June, but we're getting ahead of some of these things that we haven't put in place. So you're seeing all those professional committees really for next year. And those items for your approval.
I would entertain a motion for all the certificated items as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Workman. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Motion carried. All right, classified staff, we have a list there as well.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Obviously, we've had a couple folks who have moved out, but that begins this domino effect. And so we have one person move from one position to another position, be it a school or something different. So item A is just a lot of information for you that we're able to do from internal transfers. Item B, our recommended items for board approval. First of the 25-26 school year. We just hired a second shift custodian for a retired custodian at the middle school, some substitute employment, and some additional summer work crew folks. That really, believe it or not, we're only talking about summer and getting to work. So those folks are listed there. Item 4 are a couple of resignations, and item 5, retirement. You'll see 2 names that have been around for a long time, and Kim Bradley and Dawn Mann. And then we have 1 leave of absence. So those 6 items for your approval tonight.
Okay. All right. I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. Question, we have a resignation for Madison, but we also have a transfer.
Because she was transferring to a different position, we had to get her to resign one position so that we could open it up.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
kind of one of those where you have to have everybody have an equal opportunity for a position. And so we needed the resignation before she could.
It's a new position. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Would you call the roll?
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Workman?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Motion carried. Board member comments at this time? And, let's see, Mr. Workman, would you like to go first?
Sure, absolutely. I'd like to thank those in attendance and listening in tonight. A lot of good information tonight, starting with Chris's presentation. It's just really neat to hear all of the options that are available to our students, and it's continuing to grow. So getting into some of the medical fields and with the labor force, a lot of options for our students. So I really enjoyed hearing about that. Also like to thank Mr. Cedar and his staff. This is the time a lot of those changes start happening, and we just witnessed that. So a lot of work goes into that. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for Judy for all she does and her team. And really appreciate all the donations that are provided there from our community members. Very much appreciated.
Dr. Bennett.
Pretty much the same. I really enjoyed Chris Keaton's presentation, and I think this is what parents really want, for kids to be ready for employment or to go on to college or to have those credentials. All of this is just so important, and I think what we're doing is we're on the right track now, and I love the collaboration with the Career Center. It's been a long time coming. When we've tried in the past, it's always been a scheduling issue because of the times. We just couldn't make the times work. So I so appreciate everyone working toward making that work. And the Global Scholars Program, little did we know when we agreed to that how successful it would be. So that's exciting. And I know Clay has a big part in that, Clay Toship. So thanks to him. And again, the donations were wonderful. So. And the only other thing, I guess those were the three main things I wanted. And thanks to our administration and staff and to the levy committee for all the work they're doing.
Thank you to those who came tonight and spoke to us. We really appreciate it. And the people who may be listening in at home. This is really a collaboration between the community and Mount Vernon City Schools. We wouldn't exist without the community, and the community wouldn't be as strong without Mount Vernon City Schools. So it is my hope and my prayer that we can move forward and create even more opportunities for children and safer and up-to-date schools for our children too. So I'm looking forward to that May ballot and a yes vote from everybody. Thank you.
And Mr. Ward.
I too would like to thank those that spoke this evening in sharing their comments. I learned a lot there and a little bit. Also wanted to recognize Chris Keaton and the work there. And Bill's work and even getting that put into place a few years ago. That didn't happen by accident. So thank you for that. You know, it's interesting, and Kathy, of course. Yes. I did know that. You know, it's interesting too, because, you look at the district report cards and that, that's an area where we've had some real opportunity there. But, at the end of the day, this is really a path for those kids. And I think that's, the personal side of that really makes it important. So it's really fun, and it's a fun thing to see for their futures. So with that, I'll turn it back to you.
And I too will piggyback on everyone's comments. Special thanks to Chris for all of her work. You can just see her passion for the kids more than anything, and that's exciting that she's bridging those gaps for us. So that's really important. Thank you to Eileen and Andrea for your words tonight as well, and for everyone listening. And that's really it. It's great to see all the kids outside participating in their activities. Although today I'm sure they're not wishing they were outside. The kids are crept back quickly. And
They're young.
Yeah, they're young. Well, it's the parents that are there supporting them, Tim.
Yes.
Yes, that's it's for us that it's support. Yeah, that's not fun, so. Anyhow, we have a need at this point in time to go into executive session to discuss personnel. And so I would entertain a motion to go into, unless you have further comments before we do that?
No, I think we have a couple of appointment items.
Correct, yes. Okay, so I'd entertain a motion for executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye.
Mr. Ward,
Yes.
Mr. Gulladye,
Yes.
Dr. Bell,
Yes.
Mr. Workman,
Yes.
and Mrs. Gatsby.
Yes. And we would like Mr. Quinn, Maseko, Lynette, Monica, Christine to stay with us at this time. Thank you. Thank you, thanks.